Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for hanging with me on this Thursday. And if you went out of your way to like, comment, or subscribe, thank you for doing that. All right, so a side-wash hook is a very important hook in bass fishing. If you've ever thrown a trailer hook that was pretty strong, this would probably be it. And this is called a side wash. And as you can see, it has that big eye on it. So it's great for a trailer hook. But this hook was originally invented for striped bass, maybe some smaller species of tuna, baits where you didn't have a split ring on your bait and you just open this eye up and just put it straight to your bait. And that's going to work on any big game fishing. So not typical bass type stuff, but like I said, striped bass, bigger fish where they will straighten out your split rings. You know, they're too big and strong for split rings, so you just go straight, and they're probably too big and strong for treble hooks. So you go straight with this side wash hook. Now, we've incorporated this into a bunch of different bass lures, and I want to give you a few of my favorites that I think are very important. If you like fishing spinnerbaits, but also braided line, there's a couple jigs where they use that side wash hook, and this is a hook that you can get as, smaller than this. I think they make it all the way into like a size 8, and then they go up to a size 8/0. So this is a style of hook. It's called a side wash, and we've made it into some of the best bass fishing baits that are typically needed to be thrown on braided line. So the no jack swim jig, dirty jigs, no jack swim jig. If you ever watch a tournament where they are catching bass in shallow water and they're pulsing that jig, the Alabama shake, just making it kick and push a bunch of water, it's typically the no jack swim jig, just your typical swim jig, bullet style head rather. But it has this big hook in it. This is a 4/0 side wash hook, and this is 3X carbon steel hook. You're not going to bend it out, and you put it on braided line. And typically, you're just pulsing it right underneath the surface. So there's not a whole lot of absorbing the shock between you and the fish, and you're doing it with 50 to 80 pound braid. So this is heavy combat fishing. You're typically doing this in heavy cover, and you have to use this hook because if you try to use a normal jig hook, you're going to straighten it out with a braid. And it's very important to use braided line on that technique. I've caught them both with fluorocarbon and braid. I'll tell you this, braid just makes the technique way easier. So side wash hook, very important. So if you find a jig and you like to do the Alabama shake, a side wash hook is very important. Now, I like to flip braided line whenever I can get away with it. And this is a Gambler Jigzilla. This is a very popular jig down in the state of Florida. We flip flat reeds and buggy whips, the round reeds down there with this style jig. It's like an Arky style, kind of modified. But this is another bait that comes with a side wash hook. You can tell that's just a 3X strong carbon steel hook. And again, you can catch 10 pounders on this bass. Catch 10-pound bass on this hook rather, and it won't straighten out. It's going to be the strongest hook you can find for bass fishing, and we've incorporated it into a lot of baits. So if you like to fish braided line and you are bending out hooks, try to find baits with that side wash hook or just use that side wash hook. It will never straighten out. It's the strongest hook that you really can get in a bass fishing size. It works great in freshwater. Try that, guys. It's one of those hooks that you must know about if you want to be a great bass fisherman. Good luck to you, and I'll see you on the water.